Okay guys, there are 7 cards in Is Your Ex Coming Back spread. As you know, this is really meant for the people who actually want their exes to come back, or maybe even wondering what is going on in their head, because they sometimes use it for relationships, especially if relationships that are on and off, and that way we find out. So these cards are called significators, meaning I picked them, and I picked them not to read them, but sort of like to read a category. Just think of them as a title on a beginning of the chapter. So altogether, they're sort of giving me the story, that entire book. I picked the first card, the Magician. In this category, not to go into details, if you order the spread, I'm going to explain in way more details what basically I meant behind this. But in short is, if this relationship was ever a go, are you swimming like up the stream and trying to make something live that really shouldn't be? Temperance card is here reversed for a reason, because upright temperance means, hey, I can glue anything, I can work on anything. So obviously this is talking about ungluing, and this is going to tell me what exactly you really need to repair in this relationship if this is ever to go, and this is if this category is really telling me, you know, green light. Then I have a Queen of Wands and Knight of Wands as significators. It could be either or. One can be you, one can be a partner that you are inquiring about. And this is the energy and the flow of information and the flow of thoughts in between the two. So now I see the Judgment, and this is like the biggie, because yeah, you know, that's that extra information. Okay, what was meant to be learned in this relationship? What lessons you have to absorb, right? Even if this is not meant to be, like, there are still lessons to do it, right? You know what they say, we meet somebody for a reason, for a season, or for a lifetime. And then lastly, we have Four of Wands, and Four of Wands is really talking about where is this heading. So this is a short and sweet explanation, and if you basically watch this first, now it is a good time to go back and see the entire reading. Love you. Alright, Sagittarius, this is very interesting. I have both Queen of Pentacles and the Empress. And I have King of Cups and I have Knight of Wands. It looks like that you are not able to make a decision who you are. Because we also have some repetition. You see, we have the Eight of Wands over here. We also have Four of Wands. Wands are really good for you, and this is Knight of Wands would be you as well. Represents Sagittarius. So it looks like that maybe you're receiving some love messages. Maybe you're sending some love messages. Maybe you're really wondering about someone with whom in the past you really wanted to go further. You wanted to go to the next level. You have been accused of being manipulated, or possibly the other person was manipulating in situation, because it's kind of like tough to figure out which one you are, because you're on this side and you're on this side, right? So that's how I'm looking at it. Also, it looks like it could have been a situation where, you know, it was a wife or a husband or somebody who simply blocked the progress of something else. And you were kind of like trying to figure out how to get out of that situation. It is something that has been lasting for a while, maybe even up to 4 years. I know this reading is for a month, but I'm just telling you what I'm seeing this. It could be that you have been going through divorce process, or wondering if you can maybe remedy the issues and kind of like stabilize the situation. It was definitely one of those, you know, 7-year itches, or just like a really rough patch in the marriage, which needed to be rebuilt and needed to kind of like go in a different direction. But as I said, you know, 2 people who participated, both of them just really didn't see, you know, how to go about that. It almost looked like you did everything right. You kind of like pay attention to each other. You communicated. There was like this collaboration. But I also think that you try too much, that you try to be everything to each other. The problem that I see over here is that you did not enter or re-enter that relationship in the same manner. One person entered saying, I have right to be in this relationship, and because there is your signature here, or I don't know, we have kids, you must behave a certain way. It's kind of like that Hierophant style, you know, let's kind of like have this traditional kind of like conventional marriage or relationship. The other person has either lots of water in them, and I mean water in astrology sense, not that they need to urinate, or they're simply basing the entire relationship on that kind of like they really need to feel that relationship is gelling and flowing. It could be also somebody who is either Pisces or Capricorn or Taurus or Libra that is kind of like surrounding you here in the situation. It also appears to me that you have turned your back on somebody who has been extremely important to you. That has been, like, we have two women, we have two men, but I think this both of these men is you. They're just like showing different aspects of you, like toward this woman and toward this woman, or partner. It doesn't have to be a woman if you're a man watching this. So it almost looks like that you really want to go toward a situation that you have already been in, that there's like somebody who really loves you and somebody who really cares for you. But there is like somebody else who you considered perfect. She's on the pedestal. She's the Empress. She is your perfect woman. Queen of Pentacles comes also very close, but Queen of Pentacles, as well as the Empress, could be a mother, an organizer, and she kind of like makes things flow and organizes things, but sometimes she's not highly, you know, valued because, you know, just like a housewife, what do you contribute to this kind of like thing? But she contributes quite a bit. The Empress, on the other hand, she actually does have a status, so she doesn't necessarily want to pack the lunches and everything else. She's more or less into what kind of love I can transfer. So what is really interesting to me is like what is between you and that partner. It's like this Four of Wands, and in Four of Wands of category, there is like also this Empress appearing. So whether or not you're making a decision to, let's say, renew your vows or go into this whole situation, and look, you're looking at this woman and you're kind of like consciously trying to move away from the other situation, which almost looks like is fulfilling you entirely. Everybody here seems to be almost like in their own world. I don't see any two faces kind of like seeing each other. This guy's turning the back. These guys are reversed. So almost like looks like everything fits together. I saw this woman, and I have to tell you, I have never seen anybody who had more perfect every piece of her body. Her legs were perfect. Her arms were perfect, her lips were perfect, eyes were perfect, hair, everything, like literally everything. You cannot say anything, yet together they didn't look well. And it was just like I was scratching my head and wondering like what's wrong with this. Like, I couldn't kind of point a finger to it, just like what I'm looking here as well. So let's see where we are heading with this. This person here almost looks like you're torn between love and between obligation. And that's kind of like really something that is going on in your readings for quite a while. And it also looks like that somebody else turned their back on to you because I guess, you know, sitting on two chairs was not kind of like their thing. So there is kind of like repetition of Libra and repetition of Scorpio. I see Scorpio over here as well. I mean, Scorpio is also in the Tower card. But look at these three cards. This is complete lack of commitment. There's like somebody who who is either like you're facing, who doesn't really want to do things that you want. They don't want to give you the second chance. They don't want to build this. And if this is you, because I see here a few storylines, I see one person who is saying, look, we have to do it for the kids. We have to do for the best good of everybody, right? We have to restart this. Like, we have to renew this love. And I really think that some of you or some of the partners that come back and say, well, look, I can pay the bills, I can be here because of the kids, but I cannot give you love. That love belongs to somebody else. And you know how women are, we want everything. And this person, I think, did say, okay, that's fine, because it kind of like felt like winning against the another, but at the same time she realized each time that it was not really winning at all. Because look at that sadness. It feels like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling isolated. I'm feeling, look at this, she's blindfolded. She cannot make the decision. There's like nothing starting. There's like no new thing that is like kind of like generating. And yet there is like this huge stench and kind of like bad taste in the mouth, right? That is really happening over here. But the Tower here card is showing up, and I really think that it's going to be a situation that could be like really destabilizing. In that situation, it could be that, you know, something needs to be rebuilt. Maybe you have been just going with the flow and not really contributing in recovery of the situation, and now it's going to be a big kind of shakedown. Or it could be that somebody in your life is going to call for divorce and is going to say, look, you know what, it's enough. You need to wake up. Or sometimes people tell you that kind of like stuff just to try to kind of like wake you up. So it could be something like that, because, you know, like it looks like one person is definitely deciding, look, I just cannot take this anymore. It's something is affecting this person. Look at this, like she needs to really work on herself. And it's kind of like interesting, she's really not working on herself. I see low self-esteem, I see brain fog, I see not being able to move forward, not just being stuck in the situation and just hoping things would resolve and almost like praying for something better to come. That's not how it's going to work. It's really affecting the happiness of everybody. Over here it is like clearly shown. Look at this 9. It's like wash machine brain, like you are just circulating the same thoughts over and over and over again, and you're wondering if your partner is with someone and what's going to happen. And look at this, but your partner is not with that person. The Emperor is reversed. But you know what? You know that he belongs to that other woman. And you suspect that the love is still there. So it's not enough for you to just somebody be present and be with you. You want everything. And why wouldn't you want everything? You don't want a liar. You don't want somebody who's deceptive. You don't want somebody who on the next corner is again going to stray away. And I really think that was kind of like a part of repair that didn't happen, that somebody was supposed to kind of like do it. And maybe this is why you kind of like really want to almost like push this whole situation into, look, let's kind of like renew our vows or kind of make a promise to each other. Let's kind of try it again. But look at this person. Look what I'm getting over here. King of Cups reverse. So that's kind of like my angry unicorn, right? Tells you one thing and then, you know, another thing really happens. And all of a sudden you see their true colors. Then this King of Swords is saying, look, you know, the Tower is saying over here is something is going to shake them up, right? Maybe you're going to shake them up. Maybe you're going to tell them, you know, look, this is suffering. I'm suffering. I'm feeling abused mentally. I'm feeling abused emotionally, and this is affecting our entire family because, like, look at this, a couple and this, or it's affecting my work. I cannot do it. I cannot kind of like move. See, this is the bridge over troubled waters. I can't somehow get there because this is falling in a category of what needs to repair. Somebody is not able to move on, and somebody else feels stuck. But yet, look at that juggling. This person is just trying to kind of like find their equilibrium. And it could be, you know, I honestly don't see them there with this person. They don't want to go in that direction. Maybe that's because they have been rejected and they have nowhere to go. Maybe they're thinking, you know, that something is going to save their ass, and pardon my language, but, you know, and almost like they like the stabilized situation. It could be a situation you're going through that has lots of arguments and fights, and yet then they come through and being all lovey-dovey. and you're like all confused. So this is going to be eventful, Sagittarians. Oh my gosh, buckle up. If this showed up for me, I would go, oh my god, I'm going to sleep and wake me up when May is over, because it's going to be a whole bunch of stuff going on. So I would like to know your comments, guys, and you know, if any of this resonates, that it's a good time for contacting me, getting a tarot reading, and seeing your situation maybe a little bit more in the future. Okay guys, thank you, love you, and check the monthly readings as well. All the best.